Hi there, welcome back to It's Only Paper. Today we're going to be making a new DIY journal using another little golden book. I love my journal that I made recently. If you want to see this one coming together, I'll leave the link below. I've also been working on it, so there's other videos where I'm working on the actual pages, but I'm not working on it loads, just whenever I fancy, and I'm really enjoying the kind of slow progress of it coming together. I absolutely love this journal. I love it so much, and I'm wanting to create a new one. So this is the one I already have, and this is for our 2 Disneyland Paris trips. I'm using mine as Disney journals, so I've picked up Disney books, but you can buy them for anything. If you go into Amazon, World of Books, loads of places like that, and have a look for little golden books. I type in Disney when I search mine, but they do so many different topics. I never knew there were so many. So I decided to create one for our Disney World 50th trip. It's the 50th anniversary this year, and I thought this one was so perfect. I'll pop it in my Amazon storefront down below. It was $4.99 when I ordered it, which included delivery, and it came the following day. And these books are the best ones to make journals with. They are so brilliant. I'm very grateful to my friend Elaine for giving me the idea, and I am well and truly hooked now. I've got 2 on the go purely because I'm making one for me and one for somebody else. So I thought that was a great way to kind of show you, so you can see the before and see the after. So I was doing a Zoom with my patrons the other day, and somebody wanted to see how they came apart. So I just pulled it apart. It was that easy. It has 2 quite chunky staples, so when you pull them apart, which you literally just pull them, they do stick out and they are quite sharp, so go careful with that. I then just pulled them out with scissors, and it came out quite easily. Trimmed off the sides, and you're left with this. You've also got then 2 lots of pages. The pages aren't sewn in together, which makes life a lot easier. So I've separated them. I think I've got 2 for each. I'm doing 3 signatures. The little booklets that go inside are called signatures. So if I show you my Disneyland Paris, this one has 2 signatures. So I've got 1 lot here and then the other here, 1 for each of our trips. This year we've got 3 trips to Disney, so I'm going to include 3 signatures. And I'm making these slightly different, so I thought that was a great way to show you. But as you can see, I've included the original book pages and other pages as well. Now, I like to use 12 by 12 scrapbooking papers. I cut them down to different sizes, and then I like to work out the contrasts, so you can see that the pages then, they complement each other. Like this one looks really good with Minnie Mouse. That's on It's a Small World. And as you can see, I don't like to have like the same colours. This one also has a sick bag in from Virgin, which I picked out because it will make, whoops, a really good pocket page. It does open, I promise you, and they obviously haven't been used. Oh, it's them. I'm going to need to, I'm going to use that one as a page. That will be my centre, and that's the back there. And then here you can see the other pages. So I haven't completely finished this one. This one's going to be my last one. The finished one is here. This is going to be my first signature at the start. I'm really happy with this one. I've included a map. This is a resort map, which I've stuck back to front. We've already taken this trip. If you're into Disney, by the way, we do have a Disney channel. Aid and Lisa do Disney, so I will link that down below for you. And you can see this is Old Key West where we stayed. I picked up the map, stuck it back to, like front to back, and then I've trimmed it so it fits. But then we've got the contrasting colours, we've got the book pages, and I'm going to do that in a minute so you can see I've included a park map as well. I won't stick anything on these. I want them to stay as they are. But as you can see, that pulls out. I love that so much. I've got the sick bag again. I picked up 2 of those, and then the other part of the map there. And I love it because you can see all the different attractions, places to eat, and this will be so lovely to keep in years to come because it's so fun actually comparing the parks as they change over the years. So I'm really pleased with that. So that's my first signature. That one's done. I'm happy with that one. Number 2, I wanted to pop in an Animal Kingdom map. So I am going to do that today. So what I will do is trim it down slightly. So I've got the map here. I've decided to go with Epcot. And I am going to trim it off. I've kept it folded because I want it to stay straight, and I want to keep as much of the 50 on there as possible. And again, I know I am taking off a little bit of the map inside, but to be honest, it's not the end of the world. And it now also means that it will fit really well inside my journal. I'm also going to use a Hollywood Studios, and I want to say a great big thank you to Claire for sending me these maps, as we forgot to pick them up. Isn't that awful? Yeah, we forgot to pick a couple of them up, and they are so perfect for my journal. So thank you so much, Claire, for sending them to me. So I'm going to pop my Epcot one in first. Let's open this up. Make sure the colours all go well. See, that one now, as you can see, that's not going to quite work. Where is the front? There it is. Right, let's get this right. That needs to be like that, doesn't it? That's it. So then that opens out. Yes, that's it. Like that. So that one is going there. And then I'd like to include Hollywood Studios. Maps are just so much fun to add like that. Perfect. These are cool. So that's that signature. And then I also want to finish off this one. I like to have the signatures ready before I start making the journal. I'd like some more papers. Or saying that, we need some maps. So in this one, I'm going to include Disney Springs and Animal Kingdom. I'd like to bulk this one out. This one is the longest trip of all of them, so I would like to add some extra pages. I've got this one here that doesn't look quite right with the green there. I've also got a pink one here, which is quite cute. I do love the fruits, which are really cute. Maybe what we could do is have one up there and one down there. That's quite sweet. I quite like that actually. It's a little bit different. They go quite well together. And then I've also got a Glassine envelope, which I really like. That might be quite handy to put things in. Open that one, and then maybe break this one up a little bit. And I've got some sheet music paper here as well. I need to add the maps in as well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I will add pockets and bits and pieces like that as well. Right, let's add I'm also trying to think when I'm doing it, like if I had a Magic Kingdom one right near the front, an Animal Kingdom one, I know that Magic Kingdom will be one of the first places we go to. So I think let's have a Magic Kingdom, sorry, I'm getting them all muddled up. Animal Kingdom there, that one looks good. And a Disney Springs here. And I think we're then good to go and start putting it together. There. Claire also sent me a Disney Springs map. These are sweet. Yes, I think that's it. The signatures are ready. They are quite chunky for signatures. Right. That is my 3 signatures. And the other good thing about having your signatures ready first is you can then have a think about how large you want your spine. The reason that we add the spine is to give it that space. I'll show you a good example. I'm currently working on this journal here. This is my weekly journal. It started life as a normal fabric covered notebook, plain pages inside. I bought it from Tiger. I'll leave a link to this as well. And it was just a normal notebook. You can see the spine isn't huge. I have torn out pages, I've stuck pages together, but I'm only middle of Feb and it's bulking out. And this is exactly the same journal. This is how it will end up going. I mean, I love that. It looks amazing. But look at the size of that spine in comparison to all those pages. Doesn't that look beautiful though? So that's the reason we need a larger spine. If I had a wider spine, it's not going to bulk out so much. So I already know that I'm going to need a larger spine than what I've got here, which is brilliant because what I can do is measure what I have. This one is 5.5, so I think I might go maybe 7 or 8. For this next step, make sure that your covers are ready, trim off any extra bits and make sure they're up the right way round. Last thing you want to do is put it together and realize you've got the cover on upside down. Lay them out like this and then you want to get some good sturdy cardboard. So we want ours, let's say 8 to be on the safe side, and I'm going to trim that down and then put them together and you've got your spine. This is going to be so cool. I made another one here actually as well. This is all from cardboard. Now I've got a good chunky spine there as well, and this was from a tutorial from my friend Michelle, and I've got the 3 signatures in there, and I use these all for storing my stickers. I love how this works. It's such a good way for storage. I want to add some tape now to hold it all together. So I'm using really thick tape. This is normal sticky tape. There's nothing fancy about this at all. And then popping it like that. And the nice thing is, because of that space down there, this will mean that the journal will fold really, really nicely. Let's turn that over. I have seen people use duct tape and things like that as well. There's so many loads of tutorials online, and you can see here the spine is coming together really nicely. I love how this transforms. And it's not something that takes too long either, to be honest with you. I'm going to put a few pieces over. I'm going to put a few pieces over just to reinforce it. Don't worry about it being neat and tidy. It's going to all be covered up. Perfect. That is cute. I'm really chuffed with that. Make sure that your cardboard isn't too thick because we are going to be sewing through like that. So I've been having a play. I would like to pop some card in here just to cover up the tape and the spine. So I'm going to cut that to size. Do you know, even though I marked it off, I've still cut it a bit short. I'm going to add some washi tape. I'm going to go with a big wide one underneath. Doesn't matter sometimes how hard you try. Things still don't work out completely right. I want that to be the length there, more or less. Excellent. And then let's cut that down here. Now it doesn't matter if there's a tiny bit showing. It is literally a smidgen as well. That's so annoying. So we'll do that and make it look like it was supposed to be. That's fine. And I'm going to pop this on here, and then I will score the side bits so that it's nice and neat. I have folded it so I can see where my score marks are, and now I've got this tool here which is purposely for scoring. Just go careful, I have done this before and it's torn through, but this time that's worked really, really well. The other thing as well, I haven't completely put tape on across the top. I've just done, I think, 3 or 4 lengths down, and actually I wish I'd put tape along there. That would have been a bit neater. But there we go. I'm pleased with that, and it looks really neat and tidy. We're now going to work on this side, and this time we are going to use fabric. I was thinking about adding some of this first. I've chosen this fabric here, and I'm still wondering whether to have a little bit or just go with the fabric. I think I'm just going to go with the fabric actually. And this length is good with a little bit extra because I love the cover. I don't want to cover too much of that up. So, oh, that is spot on. Let's trim this. The other thing I want to do is to fray the ends. So I want a little bit extra for a frayed look. So let's do this and mark it off, and now I can have a look. Mark that off. You could fold it over if you wanted to. I can't remember how I did my last one. Have I done that straight? Yeah, it's not too bad. Just having a look. Yeah, this one actually I folded over and did inside completely. I've put cardboard pattern paper, but it's folded in. This one, however, I do like the washi tape at the top. I think that looks really neat, and it's nice to try something a little bit different too. So I'm going to do exactly the same again. Add the washi tape at the top. Do you know what I am going to do actually? I've just realised, and I'm going to fold that over. And actually, if I were to do this again, I would fold that over and then put the paper on. I haven't done this way before with the washi, but that would look even tidier. But I like that, and I'm going to do the same again and add some tape and then fold that over. That's actually gone neater than I expected. I'm pleased with that actually. That looks really neat and tidy. And then what I like about this, if a little bit is showing through, which I kind of want it to because I do really like this, it will look really, really nice. So I'm going to work on fraying the edges. I want them frayed top and bottom because I think having little bits of fabric hanging will look really, really cute. Started chatting and that, and then I realised I hadn't hit record. So I put a little bit of double-sided sticky tape on. And now I'm using regular PVA glue. I know there's like special fabric glues, and loads of you have been kind enough to recommend different glues as well that work really well for you, different tapes. But to be honest, I had this glue already, so I've decided to do it again. I used it last time. It's worked really well for me, and I didn't want to buy anything extra, another glue, if I didn't need to. So I've decided just to keep with what I've already got. Sometimes it can get, you end up just buying so many different glues and adhesives, and yeah, so I just thought I'd use what I've got and what worked well for me last time. Let's just do that last bit, and then we are going to pop it in place, and I'm going to leave that to dry. Make sure it's up the right way. This fabric works both ways, so that's fine. I think having the washi tape there has worked really, really well. And I'm going to leave that to dry now. I just wanted to show you here so you could see. This one I added some netting underneath. This was placed underneath the fabric, and then I also added a pom-pom trim, and you could see that I've layered up the fabric to go over the top. There was a lot of glue placed on here, so it's really, really hard, which I like. It's dried really well. It was a bit tricky. I did struggle with it a little bit, you can see there, but I'm really, really pleased with the end result, and it's stuck really, really well. This washi tape does not want to stick. You can see here actually where I've added the tape. I used a border punch there, which I quite like, but when I scored it, it did go all the way through. Remember I said about going careful. It did actually go through that side. So it's nice to see different examples of different things used. This one is much tidier. That one's done much better. And I've used washi tape there down the side. I just realised on that side I quite like that. But it's fun to experiment and do different things, and I've got ideas what I want to do once this is dry. So this is now the next day. I ended up leaving it I'm really struggling with my thumb at the moment. It's really painful, so I'm only able to do things for a short space of time, and I've already been catching up with the emails, and I've edited a video and it's really, really painful already. So I couldn't finish this last night, but that is the spine, as you can see, and I'm going to finish this with you now. I did unpick some of this and try and stick it down, and it hasn't stuck down wonderfully. So I might have to try and, oh, actually I can feel there's no sticky under there. I've missed a spot. Let's see if that's better. Still bumping out slightly. It's better than it was though. But now we want to work on sticking in our signatures. Now, this is what I've been using previously. However, this is going to be a little bit too small, but I kept it as a template for my other journals. So we're going to make a new, larger version today. So let's move this out the way. And I want to be able to see exactly where my spine is. So my spine is where these two lines are. And we are going to cut this to size. I want this to be the same size as my spine. So let's take a little bit off the end as well. So no matter how small or large yours is, you just want a piece of scrap paper that's the same size. Now, to find the middle and everything else, we're going to fold this over and then fold this over again. You want good solid creases. Make sure it matches up well. So you've got your cross. And there, this is for 3 signatures, by the way. And then again, and this gives you your template for your 3 signatures. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And now what I'm going to do, you can now mark off where you want your holes to go. And these will be then how we sew in our signatures. I haven't measured mine, but oh, I've actually not even done that one correctly. Don't you just hate rubbers that don't rub? Look at that. That's the worst rubber ever. I find that with a lot of pencils, that they just don't work. That doesn't even rub off. That's terrible. There and there. That's sort of roughly. I'm going to be using a bookbinding kit. I bought mine on Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. I will show it to you. And it came with so much stuff. It even comes with clips, not these particular clips, but it did come with clips as well. So you can hold this in place. This is it. I've popped it in a little IKEA bucket. Do you know, I was looking for this at Christmas. I wanted it for something and I couldn't find it. And it was here in my studio. It comes with a creasing tool, actually. You know, the tool that I was using. And it comes with thread, it comes with needles, there's the big solid needles, it comes with so much, and it comes with this. I can't remember what this is called. I know it's got a name. Remind me, please, if you know. But I have used this now so many times and I love it. And basically, we are going to pierce through. It just makes life so much easier being able to do this. Just obviously go careful. If you are a child trying to do this, please don't do this. Please let your adult help you. This is sharp, and you've got to go really, really careful. And obviously when you're doing this, be careful with what's underneath as well. And a big thank you once again to Michelle for sharing this technique with me. Michelle did one of our online classes in our Patreon group last year. And I've been so grateful. I have now made quite a few of these now and I love them. It's not perfectly straight, I've just noticed, but I'm not fussed about that. It's not the end of the world. So I'm starting to get ready to sew my signatures in. I think I'm going to use the darker thread this time. It's quite a busy fabric and I think that would stand out quite nicely. I don't know though, saying that. What do you think? And then I've got a Mickey bead here and I've got some other ones as well, so I'm going to attempt to use those as well. So I think I'll start off with the middle one. I still can't decide. I think I'm going to go with that one. I like this. It's a bit more neutral, isn't it? Although it doesn't, I don't know. Do I want them to stand out? No, I'm going to go with this one. I think so. We've got the black wording and that on the journal. I think that will be fine. I have got some coloured threads as well, but again, I think because it's quite busy, I think this actually will look quite nice. So this is something new that I'm attempting today. But I've seen other journals where people have made them and they've got beads and things and they look really fun. I've just added this extra one on. I think I did have this, but I'd quite like to have something in the middle, I think, for my title of this one. I'm just going to go through, make sure I'm happy with where everything is, and I will be able to add extra pieces. Obviously I won't be able to sort of sew them in, but if I want extra pages I can add flips and things like that. But I think this will be fine. I just wanted to double check that everything was where I wanted it to be. Now this is the part where I have made mistakes before, purely from when the journal, the pieces move and you then don't get the holes through the center. If they're all the same size you can actually clip them together, but because mine are all completely different sizes it makes it a little bit trickier. So we're going to put this in place and mark off the holes, and I'm hoping that that will work. And then I'm going to do the same again, put this through. See, a lot of these where they're different sizes it's not even going through. You need a decent amount of thread, 1, 2, and a bit more for luck, and a nice thick needle. These are lovely. This is waxed thread so it goes through so nicely. We're now going on to the sewing the signatures in. This bit can be really fiddly. The first tip I will give you is, I made this mistake, I sewed my signatures in upside down. I thought I was being so careful. It took me ages and I managed to sew it upside down and I had to cut it all out and start again. So do go careful. I did find, because I had so many layers, it was very, very tricky. And so some pages were being sewn in, but others weren't because they weren't quite tall enough to reach them all. But it did take quite a lot of concentration and a couple of goes, obviously, but we got there in the end. But I do suggest just keep slowly, keep an eye on it, and just watch your layers and make sure they're all kept together. My other word of advice, make sure your strings, your ribbons, whatever you're using are really, really tight. Pull them from the inside, pull them from the outside, and tie them nice and tight to hold all your pages in place. I'm adding a little bead here, which looks really, really cute. It's a really nice finish. So that's one signature in. I won't lie, it wasn't the easiest one. I think I've just got so many layers here, it made it a little bit trickier. But take two, and I got there in the end. Now let's move on to the next one. So once again, I am just going to check that I'm happy where everything is, that it's in the correct order, no upside downs this time. And then let's pop that one up there a little bit. I just find this first bit always really, really tricky to make sure you get the centers there perfect to match. This is the next signature. This will be the first one as I open up the journal, and I'm just repeating exactly the same as I did before, using the template just to mark out where I want to have my holes, so then I can sew it into the journal. Something that I'm finding that with doing this, I'm not always getting, like here, I haven't actually got the crease matched up. But then I'm just going next to where I've marked it and putting it through there. And the same here, marking it up then on the page. I am finding it quite tricky with so many different layers going through. It's a lot more than I did with my others. And the other thing you have to be careful, like when you're doing the maps and things, they're quite delicate to go through. Same as before. You always want to make sure you've got extra. And now we are sewing in this next signature. Trying to keep them together. I do find it's actually sometimes easier to pierce the needle through in layers to make sure they're all going through correctly. Sometimes I find when I try and do it all in one go, I end up making a new hole and going through on a separate page, which is a little bit annoying because sometimes they don't then sit straight. I'm adding some extra little beads this time, which is really cute. I did buttons in my last one, so I'm doing beads this time. It's nice to vary them a little bit, and I'm trying to keep it all as neat and tidy as possible. So now we have the first signature in. I just realised that one's popped up a little bit higher on there. And now we're going to work on the third. I've done it. I'm not going to lie, I did struggle with this one. The pain in my thumb and wrist isn't helping and it's shooting up to my elbow. But I've persevered and I've done it. This is also the first time that I've had so many layers and all at different heights as well. So keep an eye out that certain layers don't slip up or slip down. I have had some where they've done that and I didn't realise, and I've sewed them in and I've ended up, because they come up quite high, I've had to trim some bits. But as you can see, I mean, it hasn't mattered because there's nothing on them, but just watch out for that. But it's lovely and tidy. I'm really pleased with it and I can't wait to fill it. I've got the little beads on the sides. I wanted to do one on each side, but I didn't have enough of the colours. But actually, I think that looks quite nice like that. I think maybe it would have been too much otherwise. You can just about see them there. I bought these, a whole set off eBay years and years ago. You know when you think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to use them for. I've ended up using them for this. But I think it's really cute. I am going to add a bit more glue, I think, around the outside just to make sure it hardens. I like the fact that it hardened on my other one. It felt quite secure. And I will be obviously filling out the pages, adding pockets and memorabilia. And that, let's give you a quick flick through. It's not perfect, but I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm just really happy that I've done it. And I'm looking forward to recording a whole year's worth of memories. So if you're going away this year, it doesn't have to be Disney. You can use it for anything. It doesn't even have to be trips. You can still make one. But collect memorabilia, pick up your maps. And it just really makes a fun addition to a journal. I'm so pleased with this. I really am. And I've just remembered I said I was going to make one for my sister now, didn't I? I might leave that a few days, I think, because this was quite a tricky one. But I'm glad I persevered, and I'm glad I've got a signature for each trip. And it's going to be really fun. Not only documenting the memories, but also looking back on them as well. I'm going to be so glad that I've done this. I need to put the year on the front. But I'm really pleased with this. It's really cute. What do you think? Have you ever made one of these? Have you used one of the little golden books? If so, what kind have you bought to use? I would love to know what you've done with yours. So that's mine. I won't bother going through the runs at the back. And the other thing you can do actually as well, because as you can see, it's a very open book. This other one hasn't done that. It's a much smaller one, but I might actually clip it together to see if I can train it closed. But with this one, I did actually add fabric inside the cover as well. I could even still do that. And then, although that doesn't pull open, you can actually tie, which I think looks really nice. This is another Disney one here that I made. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you've made a journal using a little golden book. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to catching up with you next week. Bye!